Joe, and I want to show you some basic principles of perspective that I use in everything that I paint, and that you could use in your next project. Now, perspective is just the way that things look from where you're looking. To understand it better, let me take you to the whiteboard and show you just how it works and why it exists in the first place. Your eye is round, and it receives light that comes from all angles, but only the light that comes in at an exact 90-degree angle makes it all the way to the sensor. So then the light coming from here is going to enter the eye down here where it's in 90-degree angle. It's not going to enter up here because that's not a 90-degree angle. It's going to bounce different directions. The light from up here is going to enter the eye right here, and it's not going to enter down here because that's not a 90-degree angle. So everything has an exact place it enters. If I have an object that's right here and it's taking up half of the field of view, you know, this is the rest of the field of view right here, then it's going to appear a certain size. But then if I move it twice as far away, same size object, look how much of the field of view it's taking up. It's taking up a quarter of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. So you see, every time I get further away, the proportion of the field of view that it takes up gets smaller and smaller. So things appear smaller as they get further away because that field of view is getting bigger and bigger as the distance increases. So if I hold up this marker about a foot away from the lens of the camera, you can see it takes up the whole field of view. But now if I move it twice as far, about 2 feet away, then you can see now it takes up about half of the field of view. So that I call the rule of halves and doubles, and I can use that information as I'm plotting out my mural. I'll show you how. So now I'm going to establish some distance markers using what I call the rule of halves and doubles. So at half of the distance to the horizon from the base of the picture, the distance is double what it was at the base. So if I make a mark right through the middle, I'm just going to draw a line right through the middle of this picture. Okay, now every time I cut the distance from any point to the horizon in half, the distance doubles. So I'm going to cut this distance in half. Distance to the horizon, right in the middle now between my 2 times marker and my horizon marker, make another middle line, okay, all the way across here. The distance here is now 4 times the distance at the base of the picture. Now if I cut this in half again, the distance is going to double again, and that's going to be the 8 times distance marker. Okay, so now I've established all of these number markers, and you can see I ran out of space in here. That background is getting really scrunched, so I came over here and I just squeezed in a couple of little lines. 128 times, 256 times, it's so close to the horizon, it's hard to even tell the difference. So what this means is that at the 2 times line, the distance is 2 times my distance from the picture. So if I stand, now I'm going to get blurry for a minute, but if I stand way over here, then I'm about 5 feet away from this painting, then that means that this line would be a 10-foot line. It'd be 10 feet away from the view, and I'd want to paint things appropriately in scale. But if I want to view this picture from close, then I want to paint this as though it's only double this distance, so only like 2 feet away. So you see, all this is a proportion. It's not a specific number of feet. So in my picture, if I put an object at a certain size, then I just use the proportions to scale it down or scale it up according to these markers. By the time we get up to this line that says 64 times, that is 1/64th of the actual size. So I don't even know what 1/64th is, you know. I might have trees going up my hill too. So you can see that I am considering perspective in every single object that I put in a picture. But I normally wouldn't draw this all out like this in such detail, making a grid out of every single object. I'm just doing that so that I can show you what I'm thinking the whole time that I'm painting a picture. Just remember that rule of halves and doubles. That has been the most helpful information in my entire career about perspective. That is that half the size equals double the distance. Half the distance equals double the size. If you just remember that rule, you'll be amazed at what it can do for your paintings.